Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Pixley for President. I am Jerry Pixley, running for president. If you are new here, welcome. Please like, share, and subscribe to help spread the word. If you'd like to donate to my campaign, there is a link in the description box below. Please help. Every little bit, even $5 or $10 goes a long way. So it has been a long time since I've last done a video on our foreign affairs. And various things have been happening in the last couple of months that I think warrant discussion. But before I jump into that, I just want to mention a book I've started reading, The White House Staff. And I saw it mentioned in the footnotes of The White House World, which is a wonderful book, and decided to get it. I just finished the chapter on the National Security Council, and it talks about the president's role in foreign affairs. There are summits, phone calls, birthday wishes, and hallway conversations with other world leaders, which are heavily scripted by the National Security Council and the Foreign Policy Department. The chapter explains how the president's relationship with other world leaders can affect our international relations. During the Clinton years, Clinton made about 150 calls a year to other world leaders. Many of those were birthday wishes. Clinton and the first Bush were good friends with the Prime Minister of England, and Clinton talked to Tony Blair about once a week. Compare that to today. No one wants to be around Trump. Videos from summits show everyone avoiding him. Photos show him sitting alone in the cafeteria. And I like the meme about the Prime Minister of Italy, Giorgia Meloni, wanting a restraining order against him. Now, we need a president that can make friends with other world leaders. If the president can make friends, then the other world leaders will want to work with us. They'll want to help us. They'll want to make deals and trade agreements. Because friends like to help each other succeed. Now, this isn't the ultimate solution, but it's another tool in our toolbox. And if we get enough of these, if we earn enough points like not threatening to invade Greenland, honoring our agreements, respecting our allies, we'll have a better outcome. Add that to bringing back USAID, and other countries might start liking us again. So you might notice the sun change. I've been having some computer issues, so this is actually a different day as I try to get them resolved and continue to record. So, every year the leaders of the United States, Canada, England, France, Italy, Germany, and Japan meet to discuss global issues like trade, security, economics, and climate issues. This is the G7 summit. This is not a treaty organization. There is no binding agreement. It is more of a friendly meeting to keep everyone on the same page or let everyone know about any new issues that are arising. This takes place in the middle of June. The European Union has joined as a non-enumerated member. Russia was part of the group from 1997 to 2014, when it was kicked out. Sometimes other countries' leaders are invited to attend. Founded in 1975, the G7 represents about 10% of the world's population and 50% of the world's wealth. They have been on the forefront of various issues in the past, such as the AIDS crisis, the 2019 Amazon rainforest fires, and the Iran-Iraq war. They discussed how to assist developing nations, and they made a plan to address climate change called the Paris Agreement. This is a high-profile annual meeting. Each year, a different member hosts. This year, it was in France, hosted by President Macron. They had to postpone the meeting a day because of Trump's UFC match at the White House. Even so, Trump still arrived at the summit an hour late. Everyone had already went to the meeting so Macron was not there to greet him at the airport. The meeting was already in session when Trump walked into the room. He then tried to take over the meeting before the press was kicked out, so we don't know what happened afterwards. However, being away from Putin and Netanyahu seemed to have been good for him. He was talked into siding with Ukraine against the Russian invasion, and we'll see how long that lasts. On the other hand, many talking heads have pointed out how demented he seemed there. He never knew where to go, he had trouble stepping up the one stair for the group photo. But none of that's news. Commentators have been talking about this stuff since his first term. He appears to be suffering from dementia, and it appears to be getting worse in recent years. That is why I think the administration should be charged with elder abuse on top of the long list of allegations such as fraud, pedophilia, treason, and war crimes. We need a president who is much younger, one who won't develop dementia during his term, one who can attend the G7 and not embarrass the country, someone who knows where they're going and what they're even talking about. Speaking of embarrassing the U.S., Trump was also at a NATO summit a couple weeks ago. While meeting with Zelensky, he asked reporters if they had any questions for Putin. Someone mentioned that he was with Zelensky, not Putin, but Trump said he would answer on Putin's behalf anyway. Also at the NATO summit, Trump complained about our ally Spain. NATO members have pledged to increase their NATO spending to reach 5% of their GDP. Spain is one of those that voted against that, but they lost. Now, they have increased their spending from 1.5 to 2.1% of their GDP. Instead of trying to talk them into improving more, Trump announced that he would stop trading with Spain, increase tariffs, and stop issuing visas for Spanish citizens. Now, this did not stop him from trying to celebrate with the Spanish football team or soccer team that won the World Cup. Spain did Photoshop him out of the celebration photos. Spain sells the U.S. refined petroleum, pharmaceuticals, wine, and olive oil, among other things. I'm sure that if we start a trade war with them, they will retaliate and stop buying our soybeans, which is one of our number one exports to Spain. Spain has said that we are no longer allowed to use 2 Air Force bases in Spain. And the idea of stopping their citizens from coming to the U.S. and spending money is just laughable. Now, this is not a defense of Spain. Spain should get on board and pay their dues to NATO. That was voted on, Spain lost, but in a democracy, when you lose a vote, you have to go with the winning side. That they have made a slight increase, I say we push them for another increase next year until they get to where they should be. Trump is also still fussing about how NATO refused to join our attack on Iran. As I've said before, NATO is a defense treaty. The U.S. attacked Iran. It did not need we did not need NATO's defense. If anyone, they should have come to defend Iran, but Iran is not a part of NATO. They had no reason to join us. We need a president that understands foreign affairs, who understands what treaties actually say. We do not have that right now. Allow me to add, Trump is not the head of NATO. He's not the Secretary General. He has no business meddling in what other members pay. It doesn't affect us. Whether or not Spain pays their fair share, we still have to pay our fair share. Let the Secretary General worry about Spain. We should worry about ourselves. Now, speaking of Iran, let's take a quick look at that situation. I've talked about Iran before. At the end of February, the U.S., on behest of Israel, bombed Iran. Trump claimed that we would defeat them quickly. but gave an ever-changing answer of exactly when. A few days, a few weeks, whenever we feel like. However, Iran has continued to fight. They took control of the Strait of Hormuz and are bombing any ships that go through. In June, the U.S. and Iran signed a memorandum of understanding, an official agreement to seek a peace treaty. So not even a peace treaty, just, hey, let's talk about ending this. One of Iran's conditions was that we get Israel to stop attacking Libya. Israel doesn't listen to us. They have continued to attack Libya, and that's made diplomacy very difficult. However, at the NATO summit, Trump announced that he was ending peace talks with Iran because they wouldn't agree with his lies. He claims that they are utterly defeated, yet their navy is on the bottom of the ocean. They're begging us for peace, but none of that's true. He also briefly announced that the U.S. would start charging a toll for travel through the Hormuz Strait. However, the next day he walked back that idea. As soon as he announced ending peace talks with Iran, gas shot up about 35 cents where I live. Now, we need a leader with a steady hand, not one that bounces between bombing and peace talks depending on how the stock market is doing each day. How are diplomats supposed to make any progress when Trump randomly decides to attack? Of course, the U.S. has never sent any real diplomats over to Iran. We sent realtors instead. The United States was once a respected leader in the world, but we've lost our place. Our country has become a laughingstock. Many countries are moving away from using the U.S. dollar as their currency for international trade. Japan and some European countries, I believe Belgium, have started selling off their U.S. debt. Meanwhile, our deficit and our debt have been skyrocketing under Trump's lack of leadership. I believe it is time for the U.S. to have a competent leader again. Someone who can actually make deals. Someone who can make friends. Someone who can negotiate. Well, I had diplomats to negotiate peace treaties, but someone who can get the diplomats to negotiate peace treaties. Who can stop wars. Who can bring back foreign trade. Now, I don't want to sound arrogant, but at least I believe I can do a better job than Trump. And I can put the qualified people on the ground to do an even better job than I could. Now, I could be that leader with the steady hand, with the understanding. And so, in November 2028, when the time comes, you can vote for me. And get a better country than we have today. I hope to see you all again next week. Have a wonderful day.